Okay, as you can see, I got the porta power in here. This is Project Master Blaster. I'm going to go back to this since that one's pretty close, or at a point where I can go back to this and get this one ready, because all this needs is a little fine tuning. It runs and everything. I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is always aggravated by when you canoe, V the trunk in and the speaker shelf. It's going to want to pull this stuff in more. This car's already been run a couple times, so it's pretty beat from people trying to break the axles. And I've already taken the gas tank out so I can get some room here. I'll show you why I'm doing this. I want to get this ready for the next derby. I want to make it harder for people to break my axles and get at my rear tires, and I'll show you what I mean here. Stick out the window. You can see how the body's pushed in, the tire sticks out. That's the worst side. This side isn't that bad. It's more down at the bottom. But anyways, so what I'm going to do here, I took the panel off that was covering the door bar, because that's a good thing to push against, but I'll do that last. What I'm going to do first, it's probably here where I got double metal. You want to do it where you got a nice reinforcement to push off, and then I'll work my way down. Pushing here, you might think that'd be a good idea, but that's too hollow and it'll just crush in. But I'll start up here and work my way down and push these panels back out, and once I'm happy, or sometimes it's just as far as you can go. This side's still attached. That side's already got a split, so it's going to do that. It's going to happen. It's going to rip it apart. And then you're not making it stronger. I'm just giving a little more time that the tires are protected from getting a bumper in there and stopping the wheel and breaking the axle. So I'll stop here, get it set up, and just do a little bit and show you what I'm working for, or working towards. Just a moment. Okay, this is the first setup. I got my biggest feet I got on there. That one has smooth. That one has got the curled or whatever, so it gives a better grip. And I got this in the middle for weight, because trying to balance. Because the one thing is, unless you got somebody else, you're using your arms, legs, and everything to try and jack the pump up while you're getting this position. So it's pretty much ready to go. Just a matter of pumping her. You'll hear the, if I can be quiet long enough, you'll hear the body giving, so you know it's going. But you basically get the idea. And yes, even though that side's less damage than this side, and this one's more damageable because that's work hardened from being pushed in, more likely I'm going to push this door out more than I want before I get that to go anywhere. But I'll keep working at it, and I'll stop and when at a point and show you. I'm not going to sit here and make a 40-hour long video of me doing this, because it's a little bit of trial and error. Once I get it out, I'll show you the results before I go on the next step in a moment. Okay, I'm at my end of my stroke there, and you can see all the tension on that thing's bowed. But anyways, I'll show you. This side is looking pretty good. A little bit of a kink there. It's pretty much lined up. The outside top is just about lined up. The bottom's still not, but like I said, I got to move it down there to do that. Same on the other side. Except for this needing to be pulled out. Looking at this line here, where the thing is actually mounted, is pretty straight. I might put an extension, or actually I'll probably take and put my wooden blocks in now. That's another thing. Get some wooden blocks with you. Helps for minor adjustments. Of course, that one's too termite ridden, but anyways. So I'll just take that out and put the block on that side where it's flatter and less likely to shoot out. And I'll do some more. 1 second. Okay, my termite ridden wood has given up. It doesn't matter. I'll show you now. you look down the side here, the doors are now in line. Top of the door is pretty much all the way lined down the thing, whereas before it dipped in. I know it may be hard to see. You can see how far the tweaked the door post. On this side you can see how far it moved. It didn't move as far on this side since that broke loose. So it was over here, it's about an inch. But over here it moved a lot more. And same thing, it's a little bit in, but then also this metal's folded under. But it's a lot straighter than it was. This door post out a lot. I'll show you how much this moved. You can see where this piece of metal is here. This panel was here, so this has moved close to 4 inches. So I'm happy with that. That's what you want to do, is pretty much go as far as it'll go before it starts ripping everything. So now that I got the top where I want it, now I can move down here and work this. Which that's just going to mean moving this and actually setting it right on top of the gas tank. And then just pushing off there. So, we'll go on to that one. Okay, this is a setup for the lower door push. I'm going to take it the easy way by just letting it rest on the gas tank mount. And it's up against there. I'll show you the progress that's already been made. I haven't actually started pushing, but just doing the upper, I'll show you how much it's moved. I've actually had to change this bar out to a longer one because it would no longer quite reach. I didn't want to run out of RAM, so as you can see, that one's quite a bit shorter. So it gets moved 4 inches on its own just by doing that. And actually, if you're wondering why it only moved 4 inches here and it moved 4 inches down here, but it doesn't look like anything's changed, well, the bottom's pushed in a lot more, since that's bumper height, and this is where most of the damage is. So I'll go ahead and push on this and see what we can do. What I'm thinking, because what's happened before, is sometimes what I've had to do is cut a hole in the door, get the biggest plate of steel I got so it doesn't push the door skin out, and try to push a little bit on the door skin to get the door skins back out. But we'll see what happens here first. Door bars are easy to push on. That's nice. If you have to push the door bar out, that's just a nice strong piece of metal to push against, and it won't push out of the door skins. But pushing down here, push on the door skins, you can only do so much. The only reason you'd almost do better with just a sledgehammer or something. The only reason I use the porta power is you get a nice piece of metal in there that lets you push a huge area at once, and there's no effort. Just using the jack handle up and down is a lot better than sitting here sweating in the car trying to beat the door out. So let me see what happens here and I'll get back to you. Okay, once again I'm at my stopping point, or actually end of travel, and you can see it's once again it's bowed because it's no longer sitting on that. I guess the thing I should have mentioned, hopefully you watched this video first before maybe you start doing your own, as once you get to a point where you're happy, stopping point of pushing, if you're not at the end of your travel, give maybe one more pump and then do what I'm doing now. Just get out of the car and let it sit, allow the metal, because if you just pump and then let go, it's going to spring right back. But give it some time for, see all those spot welds there that it popped, no big deal. It's not that structural. It's better to have the metal out. It's always going to go back in, but it's better to start with it out. And it's popped a few spot welds there, nothing big. It's going to do that. But yeah, let it get out and let it just soak. Let it, the metal lower the new position. And I'll show you what I did. It's not pretty, but it's getting there. You can see now it's quite a bit of the tire that's actually starting to get covered. This is really hard to get to at this low point. I'll show you what I'm going to do next, because if you see this weird mark, you can actually see the door bar. I'm going to push the door bars out next. And that's more a little bit of aesthetics, but it's also so I can get in here and push the door bar out. Now all this section down here isn't very structural anyways. It's, I mean, if somebody's coming out of direct hit, you know, pushing this out ain't going to help, you know, keep the tires safe. But what this will do, if it's pushed out, it'll protect you from the incidental hits where the guy's sliding in a kind of a just flat of an angle where he wouldn't do much damage. But if your tire's sticking out, it gives him the better chance of doing damage. So that's the real another reason. The glancing blows, basically what I'm saying, will just bounce off. You know, like the physics says, path of least resistance. So that's all I'm trying to do here is give it a kind of a bounce off effect. Go look at the other side. This side's much worse, so there ain't much I'm going to be able to do on this side. It is what it is, as Dave would say. See, all this metal's pretty wadded up. That's called work hardened. It makes it a lot, like everybody's creasing their cars and that. This is why you do it, because it makes it so much harder to get that out. But same thing though. I got better tire protection now, so I'm not trying to make it perfect, just trying to make it better. Another problem I noticed is the whole tire sticks out a little bit, and this tire is covered a lot more. You wouldn't think it, but what's happened, you see that big kink there, and this one's kind of not as much damaged. It's basically taken the whole body section and shifted it over. That's why that's got a severe kink, and this has got this weird bulge. It's actually pushed the whole ass into the car over. And there ain't much you can do about that. Yeah, it's got good body bolts, it's got extra ones and all that. But this, the whole top of this car from the frame up is this soft sheet metal. It's going to go where it wants to go. Unless you got door bars going down the frame, keeping the doors and keeping that body up. Ain't nothing going to stop stuff like that from happening. You're always going to take more hits on that side from people that are just scared of driver's door hits. So, of course, they'll be attacking that side. Plus, it's your blind spot. But anyways, so yeah, I'll let this soak a bit, and then I'll move it up to the door bars, and then I'll think about cutting a hole, see how it comes out, and I'll think about cutting holes at the bottom and just pushing the skins out. See you in a few. Okay, now you can see it's going to be close to the final. I probably will cut a hole down there, but we'll see how this works first. Pushing out the door bars here, the factory collision bars protection. This gets a little more difficult since it's sheet metal. It moves easier, that makes it easier, but the problem is, like, I've already got some tension on it. Because getting it set up, you gotta hold on this a lot longer to make sure it's actually bitten in good, because it's gonna want to slide out, because it's not anything good to grip on. But I'll give it a shot here and let you know, let you see the end results here. 1 second. Okay, here you go. Here's the end result. It's not perfect. There ain't nothing I can do about this. I'll show you in a moment. But the door bar is pretty straight out there. So it gives us a little more tire protection. So if I can get in closer to here, so if I turn the camera upside down, where I'm close to the body, you can see it's pretty well covered. Better. Anyways, and I'll show you why in a moment here. Let's go look at the side. This side being the hardest actually looks pretty good. It's pretty flat. Pretty decent. Not too bad. But I had to stop. It could be any more for today or for a while. It's not water. Blew the seal out of the ram, so this is the second time it's been rebuilt. This is a Harbor Freight one, but I took it to a buddy's who builds hydraulic rams for tractors, and he did some work on this one to make it better, but it looks like it's failed anyways. It's lasted a little while since he rebuilt it, but it's pretty much done again. Looks like it's got too much slop in it, Ben. That's probably what's chewing up the seals, blowing the seals out. But there you go. How you go about repairing your rear end damage here to help protect your tires a little bit better. I like to do it. Yeah, I'm going to be cutting any holes. You can see the sheet metal there, which if I could have got a plate in there and this porta power in there. I could have pushed all that out, but ain't gonna happen now. So there you go. She's pretty much ready to go run again. We'll be running October 12th and 13th. That car will be running October 11th for the one deal stock derby. That'll be at the Arizona State Fair. So I've just put the tank back in it, put batteries back in it. I think I'm going to cover this with some nice material I found for the door padding so it's prettier and not all flaky. And we'll be good to go. Thanks for watching.